What is going on, guys? It's Cryptic Boss here, bringing you another Honkai Star Rail video, and today we are going to be ranking every single character in this game up until now, plus a lot of other upcoming new characters that may or may not have been officially announced. I'm just saying, I'm just dreaming, but without further ado, let's get right into this. So over here we have the entirety of Honkai Star Rail characters, the official ones, including, like I said, some of the upcoming ones. I did rearrange them a little bit to make it that the 5 stars come first, because I know you guys want to see that the most. So we're going to be ranking the 5 stars first, and then moving on to the 4 stars. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below, but without further ado, let's get right into this. So first of all, we have our traveler or trailblazer, whatever you want to call it in this game, and to be honest, I think the Trailblazer is an amazing starter character because he is our MC. In fact, coming from Genshin Impact, I think the Trailblazer compared to the Traveler that we have in Genshin Impact, there is such a big difference. It's like night and day. And this dude or girl, depending on whoever you're playing, is simply busted when it comes to being a fire MC. Now, the physical form, it's cool whipping out the bat and everything, but I think the fire MC kind of puts it all the way up to A tier. In fact, you know what? With these upcoming characters like Seela, I have to make another tier because I do notice there's only S, A, B, C, and D, but we need to add an SS plus or just an SS tier. All right, so we have the SS plus tier added at the very top, but I do think that the D tier is a little too harsh. I don't think there's any character that is like D or F tier, so we're gonna just remove this real quick. And so now we have our SS plus, we have the S tier, A tier, B tier, and C tier being not the worst ever. Like, there's nothing unplayable in this game, but the C tier is personally someone that I just would not play. I forgot to mention that this tier list is based on pretty much everything. It's like my personal opinion, which it accounts how good the character is in terms of meta DPS, I guess, if you're any meta slaves out there, looks, enjoyableness, playability, just overall aesthetics and everything combined into one. I'm gonna make sure I cover everything I can, but this is gonna be a long video, so we're just gonna have to rapid fire. So first up, or the second one after Trailblazer, is Seela. Now personally, I don't have Seela at all. I skipped her for Jing Yuan, but I have to say she is SS plus tier. In fact, the SS plus tier is basically a tier of its own. It's a whole different league. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is, if you have that character, if you have one of these characters, your account has been elevated to the most. Personally, I don't have Seela, but I have used her so many times thanks to all my friends that pulled for her. In fact, I have a friend that even pulled an E6, and let me tell you, when I use Seela as a support character from my friends, I basically don't have to play the game at all. Seela, SS plus tier, and next up we have Jing Yuan. Jing Yuan is somebody I pulled for. He's my first ever 5-star banner that I really just went all out on and spent all my premium gems. In fact, I did fail my pity, and then I pitied him, got him guaranteed, of course, and I have to say he is SS plus simply because of the Lightning Lord. The Lightning Lord has come clutching so many times in my entirety of Honkai Star Rail career that it is absurd. I mean, let me tell you, I would be at the final stage of the simulated universe, you know, the final phase, fighting Kafka, because this was a long time ago when Jing Yuan came out and Kafka was really hard to beat, and I was at the final phase. Everybody was dead. My Ting Yuan was dead, my Natasha was dead, my Welt was dead. Jing Yuan was literally 1 HP, but the Lightning Lord came in and defeated Kafka, because let me tell you, if Kafka was next before my Jing Yuan, which she was, he would have been dead. You literally had to just flick him and he was dead, but the Lightning Lord comes in and saves the day. This hasn't happened 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and it keeps on happening over and over, and because of that reason, personally, he's going on the SS plus tier. Also, I have to say, for Seela, I think her aesthetic is so mid. I know it's a hot take, but I really did not like her aesthetic. It just felt a little kind of bland, a little lazy. She did not look all too detailed and stuff. In fact, she looked more of a Honkai Impact character, which she probably is, right? I think. I don't know if she's a Honkai Impact character, but she looked like it. However, when it comes to Jing Yuan, the details on this guy, amazing. The voice, don't even get me started. The voice is amazing. By far, up until now, as a Blade main, I still think he has the best animation for his ultimate in the entire game. It literally reminds me of Susanoo, and Itachi's my favorite character, as you can see, of all time. So him having a Susanoo, the Lightning Lord coming in clutch all the time, it's just a simple SS plus tier. Now, of course, I'm going to put him behind Seela because she's just too OP. However, since it is my tier list, right, in my humble opinion, I think, I don't want to say he's better than Sela, but I would put him in front of Sela because of other aspects, not just DPS. I understand DPS wise, Sela's way better, but for me, Jing Yuan is better overall in terms of his looks, his voice, the aesthetic, the involvement in the story, his cutscenes, the Lightning Lord, the animations. I mean, I could just keep going on and on, but we have to move on. So we have Welt. I gotta say, this man is single-handedly S tier. When this game came out, Honkai Star Rail that is, he was the only imaginary character. So if you want to have an imaginary DPS, he's the one. But as we know, we do have Imbibita Lune coming up, which is probably going to be the best imaginary DPS in the game for a very, very long time. But as a sub DPS or just like a supportive kind of character, Welt is still up there. He slows down the enemies. He gives you turns for free, because if you have Welt in your team, the enemies just cannot play the game. Early on in the game, at least, even to late game, because he keeps getting better and better as he progressed. But early on, I felt like having Welt in my team just made the game so easy. It's almost like having, for example, Luosha on your team, right? Because he's just the best healer in the game. With him in your team, you simply cannot die, and with Welt in your team, the enemies simply cannot play. So for me, he's up there. I gotta say, his looks aren't the best. He looks like an NPC, kind of reminding me of Child Tortalia from Genshin Impact. And moving on to Bronya. Bronya, I got her like, I think a week and a half ago, and I must say, she is simply SS plus tier. I mean, this character at low investment is so busted, it makes any of your team simply better. The fact that you can use Bronya with literally anyone is such a positive. Not only does she buff your team in terms of crit damage and everything like that, but she also has a cleanse. Like, why would she have a cleanse? You know what I'm saying? She's not even a healer. Not only that, she gives you a free turn. And next up we have Blade. I'm going to talk about that more, because as a Blade main, having Bronya is the best thing ever. Now we have Bladey. I'm gonna have to put, even though I did not intend this to be in order, I just have to put Bladey at the very top. He's my main, but I also have some very good points to raise for him. This guy is a tank. All right, anybody who says he is DPS, you have not played him enough, because this guy, not only does he have one of the best scalings in the game, but he also has some of the best talents and abilities, also very self-sustainable. If you don't even have a healer, he's gonna pull through. He's gonna heal himself. This guy has the looks. He has the voice. Trust me, I reacted to his trailer in every single language. We're talking Chinese, Korean, English, Japanese, and he sounded a 10 out of 10 in all of them. Looks, don't even get me started. The best character in the game. I know you guys are probably thinking of Kafka. I love Kafka, but I think Blade, he just has the best look, outfit, hair, color scheme in the game. It's not even close. I call him Itachi or Blade Uchiha because he just has that Itachi vibe. Not to mention in his ultimate, when he kind of flips his sword and you see his eye, it's like a Sharingan. We're not going to talk about that. When it comes to being self-sustainable, this guy, it's so easy to kind of gain stacks with him, because every time he gets hit or consumes his own HP, which is like with every skill, because every time you attack with him, he consumes his own HP, that grants him a stack. And as you all know, when you reach 5 stacks, he unleashes the nastiest, most satisfying follow-up attack in the game. Now granted, the Lightning Lord is probably the best follow-up attack in the entire game forever, probably. It just feels so nice every time his sword just kind of goes down and you hear that sound. It's just so good. But Blade, not only does he have the nastiest follow-up attack, but he also heals himself with that, and that's a very good portion. And again, if you're low HP and you have your ultimate, you can also heal yourself with the ultimate. So overall, disgusting damage, insane HP scaling, so very easy to build, because who doesn't have HP percent stats, right? Very flexible as well in terms of building, because you don't have to worry about getting a crit damage or crit rate body. You simply can just put HP, which is what I do. And overall, a 10 out of 10 investment. Everything about him, aesthetics to sounds, animation sounds and everything, his looks, his story involvement, just everything, I think is the best in the game so far. Just look at the Dan Heng versus Blade scene alone. The way he kind of walks up to him, revealing the Imbibitor Lune, is one of the most iconic moments in this game forever. Next up, we have Himiko. Now, Himiko, personally, I've seen her in Honkai Impact, and you know, she's mommy material right there. I'm not gonna put her in SS plus because obviously she's not there. She is there in terms of looks, don't get me wrong, but looks aren't everything. Her performance, it's not even S tier. I'm sorry, I can't do it. That little pizza cutter was so underwhelming. It is a very cool and fun follow-up attack, but the best thing she has going on for her are the looks. I'm not gonna lie, I have her and I have her light cone. I have to put her at a humble A tier, because so far in terms of fire DPSs, we don't have that much, right? We have Hook, we have the Trailblazer, who's a tank, but that's about it. So at the moment, I think she's A tier. She might even drop down to a B tier depending on what what kind of characters we get in the future. Looks though, 10 out of 10. Silver Wolf. All right, now let me just tell you, I did not even know she was part of the Stellaron Hunter crew because she looks so goofy and colorful. I love her outfit, by the way. I think the aesthetic is very different, a very cool and adorable character, so I do get the appeal. I have to say she's broken as well. Now, I don't want to put literally everyone in the SS plus tier, even though she does have a very good argument to be up there. You know, you could debate that. For me, I did not pull for her. I'm not gonna put any character that I didn't pull for in the S tier. It's not like that. I didn't find the animations all that appealing. You know, that whole colorful thingy going on with the Rubik's Cube looking animations. I'm not a big fan of it. I do respect her as a character because I know how broken she is. You know, the fact that she could just put a debuff in terms of the elements on the characters or the enemies, it's busted. She is definitely SS plus tier. I'ma give her that. If you have Silver Wolf, the game is just on easy mode, right? It's just a fact. Now, moving on, we have Luocha. Oh my god, where do I even begin? I don't have him, but like I said, he is so easy to build. It is ridiculous. He's a healer, of course, and his healing is disgusting. With Blade, he's insane. I don't have him as a Blade main. I skipped him because the banners were so close together. I had to get Blade and his Lycone. Do I regret not getting him? Yes, a little bit, but like my Blade is so freaking good that I don't even need healing. You know what I'm saying? Like, who needs healing when you have a jacked up Blade with his Lycone? This man can survive anything. But yeah, Luocha, I'm not a big fan of his looks. I think he kind of looks too plain. I do like his voice line though and his coffin and everything. It's a very cool concept with the coffin. But yeah, he's gonna be SS plus tier for me because he is the best healer we have so far, and his passive is also insane. Next up, we have Clara, which I don't have, but I have seen a lot of gameplay of her and I've played her myself as well. She is simply nothing below an S tier. If you see anyone on the internet who puts Clara below S tier, just run away. I don't think they know the game that good enough. Clara deserves to be an S or SS plus tier. Now for me, I'm gonna put her in S tier. You know why? Because Clara does nothing herself. It's all about Svarog. If my boy Svarog was here, he would be an SSSSS plus. That man kills everything, tanks everything. I mean, she's just here to say, help me, Mr. Svarog. That's all she does. I do like her jacket a lot though. You know, I'm a big fan of red and black, and so I think white hair with red eyes and red jacket, it's pretty cool. So yeah, she's gonna be S tier. Next up, we have Yanqing, the guy who thought, or the boy who thought could defeat Blade and Imbibitor Linne. What were you thinking, man? Just for that, I'm gonna have to put him at C tier because what in the world was this guy thinking? I'm just kidding. He's a pretty cool character. I think he belongs in, well, at the moment in terms of ice DPSs, because he is an ice character, he's S tier. If you have him, he's a very solid DPS. However, I might have to make some adjustments based on him compared to other characters. Now, I might have to put him on A tier because first of all, we have to compare this character to the other characters I have on the list. So comparatively, if you were to go against an enemy that required ice, you know, for his shield breaks and everything, can Clara complete that content? Can Clara kill anyone who needs ice? Yes, she can. So do you need Yanqing? I don't think so. I do really like his gameplay though. It's very smooth. But for me, he's gonna be at an A tier. Solid DPS character though, especially for ice. Moving on, we have Gepard. Man, oh man, I never want to get him because I just think he looks so basic, but he is one crazy tank unit. In fact, the best tank in the game. This man at minimal investment can do so much, and he is nothing below S tier. Personally, I'm gonna put him at an S tier because I don't think he's a must-have at all. That doesn't mean any characters in the SS plus tier are a must-have. I mean, sure, having one of them is gonna elevate your account to the most, but for Gepard, I think if you don't have him, it's okay. You can still clear a lot of content. You don't need him at all. However, as a character himself, he's great. Next up, we have Bailu, who I really wanted. In fact, when I got a 5-star character from my standard banner, I was praying it would be Bailu, but it turned out to be Bronya, which happened to be the best support for Blade, so I couldn't have been mad. But I wanted Bailu because I needed a second healer. However, that problem is going to be solved in the upcoming patch, which is going to be 1.3 with Fushuan and Dan Heng. So we're going to have another new healer coming up, which I'm going to talk about later in the video. But for now, Bailu, I think she is very easy to build, right? Any healing character is very easy to build. Bailu, she she can revive a character or your teammate, I think that's absolutely broken, and that alone puts her at an S tier. I do love her design too. Really cool looking dragon and animations in terms of the waters and stuff. Very cute character. S tier for me. Next up, Mommy Kafka. Nothing below an SS plus tier. Call me biased, but I do have a good point to raise. Kafka is gonna revolutionize the game in terms of DOT comps. She's gonna make DOT comps so fun and kind of raise the bar, because so far, right, we pretty much have Sampo or Shampoo, but with Kafka, she has some insane potential, and I know for a fact she's going to be really good, especially with the likes of having Sampo in your team, and just the fact that she's gonna push a new playstyle in the game. I think that puts her at an SS plus tier already, not to mention the looks and the booba. I mean, we're not gonna talk about that, but you already know she deserves an SS plus. Next up, the Imbibita Lune. So far from what I've seen, he is absolutely broken. Now, I don't know about the gameplay kit leaks and everything, because we don't talk about that on this channel. In terms of imaginary DPS, he is going to be an SS plus. Of course, he's going to be the only insane real DPS. You can say that Waltz is DPS as well if you want to build him that way, but really Imbibitor Lune or Dan Heng, the 5-star version, is going to be taking the crown for the imaginary DPS, so that already puts him at an SS plus. Next up, we have Fu Xuan. I don't know anything about her. She's a preservation character. Her looks, you know, her design, I think, is a 10 out of 10. I do know she's going to be a preservation character. I don't want to make a comment on her, but just to be safe, I'll just put her at an S tier. I mean, there's no way she's worse than Himiko or Yanqing, right? She has to be at an S tier. Next up, we have Jing Liu. Again, don't know much about her. Do I need to rank her? I don't think so. I'm just gonna put her in front of Yanqing because I know she's cryo. She's definitely ice, and she has to be better than Yanqing. So as a safe guess, I'm gonna put her there. Also, not to mention her looks, 10 out of 10. Now we have Natasha. I think she is the best 4-star healer in the game. You know why? Because she's the only 4-star healer in the game so far. I've been using her pretty much every single day in every single content, and for me, she is definitely an S tier. The fact that we have Bailu in S tier and we have Luocha in SS plus tier, she drops down to a solid A tier, the best 4-star healer in the game currently, because she's the only one. However, let me just bring this chick over here. We have Lynx, I think that's what her name is. I don't know anything about her in terms of her character, as in lore or whatever. What I do know is that she is going to be, hypothetically, I'm not going to get too much into the details of it, she is going to be a very insane teammate for my boy Blady. However, the fact that she's not out yet, it wouldn't be fair for me to just not talk about her in detail, because I'm not going to get into leaks and put her into like an S tier and an SS plus tier. So we're just going to put her right next to Natasha over here. And we have the one and only March with the best jokes in the game. I used her early game. I think she was a solid character. I mean, she still is. She also has a cleanse, which a lot of people tend to forget. And for that reason, I think she falls right behind Natasha. If I had to pick Natasha or March 7th, I would go for Natasha, because not only does Natasha have a cleanse, but she also heals you. And for me, I think that's more important than just having shields, especially because if you're using somebody like Blade, having shields isn't the best move. Ting Yuan, don't have to say anything. Best battery in the game, also the best 4-star support probably for a very long time. She simply goes right up to S tier. I'm gonna put Welt right behind Ting Yuan because she is the best S tier 4-star character in the game. There is no other 4-star character that comes even close to her. She honestly should be right behind Bronya, but for the sake of this tier list and to balance things out, she's gonna be at an S tier. Not to mention Bronya has a cleanse, Ting Yuan does not, so that already puts Bronya at an SS plus. Next up, we have Dan Heng, and to be fair, if you're playing Dan Heng when Imbibitor Lune is coming out, what are you doing? So just the fact that he's getting a 5-star version, I think it puts himself down to a B tier. Oof, the first ever B tier character. There he is. I'm not gonna put him at C tier because that is reserved for my boy Arlon. In fact, let me just go ahead and put him right there. I'm sorry to say, but this guy used to be broken in the beta. Now, I just don't think he's that good. Even in terms of looks and everything, I just don't find him that interesting. Moving on to Su Shang, who pretty much reminds me of my main in Genshin Impact named Hu Tao. Su Shang is a physical DPS. I think she is a solid B tier, falling right in front of Himiko. In fact, I do think Su Shang is better to build compared to Himiko. Himiko just requires so much investment. It is crazy. Next up, we have Hook. Personally, I have Hook. I have a good amount of eidolons for her as well. I played her just a tiny bit, and as a fire DPS, she is pretty solid. I have to say, she's very, very good and very slept on. I'm gonna have to put her at a solid B though, because in terms of looks, not a big fan at all. Animations, not a big fan at all either. And when I'm using her to just roam around the free world, I just see her big hat. That's all I see. I don't even see herself. I know those reasons aren't the most solid, but she deserves to be in B tier. Next up, we have Yukong, the mommy Yukong. Unfortunately, she needs quite a decent amount of eidolons to make her more efficient. So let's say if you have Tingyun at E1 or E0 and you have Yukong at E0, Tingyun is just like 10 times better. She is 10 times better in any aspect, whether we have no eidolons or E6 or E4. For me, I'm gonna have to put Yukong at A tier. Am I gonna build her? Probably not. I don't see the need to use her yet. I only have her at E0, so I'm just gonna leave her there because I do know she's a great support regardless. Next up, we have this character who I don't even know how to pronounce, probably Chi-Chi. I'm gonna call her Chi-Chi or Ching Shui. I haven't met anybody who plays her, so I'm just gonna leave her there. Next up, we have Asta. I played her early game. I used her quite a fair bit. She was a very good support character to have. A solid A tier. I'm gonna put her right in front of Yukong over here. Next up, we have Pella. I have her at E4. I am currently building her, and for a ice unit, I think she does an amazing job to kind of shred shields and even do amazing damage as well. So we're gonna put her right over here behind Yanqing. Next up, who is this? Herda. I dare you to find me anybody who plays Herda. If you do play Herda, please leave a comment down below because I would love to know how good or bad she is, because personally when I use her, I did not find her amusing at all. I think she was very basic, and I heard she requires quite a bit of investment to play. My boy Sampo. I could put Sampo at a B tier or an A tier, but with the release of Kafka, he simply rises to S tier. It is not even close. I'm probably gonna make a whole video about Kafka and Sampo because I will be pulling for Kafka, and if you're pulling for Kafka, you're gonna get Sampo because they're in the same banner. However, I do think he is one of the most fun units in the game and also the funniest character in the entire game because I keep getting these scam messages from him, and honestly, I really do appreciate them. Last but not least, for the 4-star characters, we have Serval or Serval. I think she's pretty cool with the guitar and everything. I love her looks, very mommy material right there, but she is a solid B tier character. I don't think a lot of people still use her at all, especially with the release of Kafka. Personally, I would just put her at a B tier or even at a C tier, but if you compare Arlon, Chinchwei, Herda, there is no way Serval or Serval deserves to be there, so we're gonna leave her right there. And now we're left with all these characters that are apparently going to come in the game. In fact, this guy's Luca, right? I don't know anything about him. I didn't find him that, I guess, interesting when I saw the gameplay. I mean, I did find it really cool how he's kind of like a brawler character using his fists and everything, so I'm gonna leave him at a solid A tier. We're gonna have to see how he plays out, but this is just based on the 1.2 live stream from what I saw, so we're gonna leave him there. I haven't tried him out at all yet, so we don't know. But yeah, this is my tier list so far. I mean, do we have to kind of adjust some stuff? Final thoughts? I'm gonna say Bladey forever an SS plus tier for me. If you haven't pulled him, I think Blade is gonna be that character who just keeps getting better and better with time, as if he's already not one of the most broken units in the game, but I think he is going to become one of the most regretted character in the game. You guys will regret not pulling for him if you haven't pulled for him yet, so please go ahead, just pull for him. Trust me, you are going to love him. This guy self-heals, he's self-sustainable, his damage is out of this world, he has the best voice lines, the best aesthetic, just everything about him. It's so satisfying. Jingyun and Zila, of course, in terms of DPS, Zila, we all know when she comes first, but this is my tier list based on my standards in terms of looks, fun, aesthetics, voice lines, involvement in the story, and also how much investment they need, because that is a big factor as well when you're building characters. I would probably jump up Kafka in front of Silver Wolf because there can only be one true mommy. In fact, not even Silver Wolf. I'm gonna put Kafka right behind Bladey because these are the two finest male and female characters in the game, and that's gonna be true for a very, very long time. I hope they prove me wrong because I would love to see some more high characters. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comments. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you leave a like down below, subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.